Hey, what is up YouTube? This is Roba Master coming at you guys from the Teen Time Riders Yugioh channel today with a brand new deck profile in honor of the new support that was revealed for the Jinzo archetype. I've been working on this deck profile for quite a while, and it was actually meant to be a character deck for the little-known Season 4 character Makoto Inotsume, a practicer of the Psycho style who went up against both Zane and Cyrus, and it was where Cyrus sort of took over the Cyber Darks and Roids and sort of meshed them into his own deck to beat this guy. But Jinzo has always been one of my favorite cards. I think it's a fantastic card, really interesting style of play as well. And so I've had this deck and I've wanted to profile it for a little while, and this, just so happens to be something that I think that a lot of people will enjoy. So guys, let's get started. First, start off with this deck. No Jinzo deck would be complete without 3 copies of the man himself. Now, Jinzo is actually really good because what he does is he negates the activation and effects of all trap cards. Doesn't matter if they're face up or down. The activations and effects of all the trap cards are negated. And so, that actually comes in play a lot because, there's a lot of trap cards out there like Evenly Matches and Solemns and Counter Traps and things like that that actually can prevent you from doing a lot of different types of plays. So 3 Jinzo, and he's also the lifeblood of the deck. Now, the next cards that we have in the deck are 3 copies of Jinzo Returner. I'm currently proxying 2 of them right now. I can't find anyone who's got Jinzo Returners that they're willing to trade. And the people who do have them usually have them for $5 or more, which is not exactly worth it. But Jinzo Returner is a card that's got like a random effect. So it has an effect that allows it to attack directly, but it also has an effect that when it's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Jinzo from your graveyard, and that Jinzo is destroyed during the end phase. That works really well though with our next card, the lifeblood of the Jinzo deck, and that is 3 copies of Jinzo Ejector, or in the States and in the TCG called Jinzo Ejector. This is the best card because it, for a variety of reasons, it was just like one card released in Secret Eternity that really made this into like an actual deck. The idea behind this card is that you can use it and its name becomes Jinzo while it's face up on the field, which actually comes into play with like a couple more cards that I do have in here, but that's really good because you can revive it from the graveyard with your returner and you can tribute it for Jinzo Lord. And basically you can add, when this card is tributed, you can add a Jinzo monster from your deck to your hand and then reveal all set cards your opponent controls and special summon Jinzo monsters from your hand up to the number of trap cards that were revealed. So really good card. And the fact that he counts as Jinzo is actually really great for this. 1 copy of Jinzo Lord. I actually have a kind of misprinted one. You can see the pat kind of clipped it on the top, which is kind of why I like it. But Jinzo Lord is kind of like Jinzo, but a little bit better. You contribute 1 Jinzo to special summon this guy. And then when he is, you can destroy face-up trap cards and inflict 300 points of damage to your opponent's life points for each one. This is not probably recommended to run in certain decks, but he's really in here because he's sort of a Makoto Inotsume original, and I do like Jinzo Lord. I think he's a pretty interesting card. Nevertheless, good to have. And that's it for the Jinzos. Now, to round out a couple more of the machine types, we've got 3 copies of Card Trooper. Help you mill stuff to the graveyard, ends up as a machine, and works well with some of the other stuff that we do run in here. So that's very good to have 3 of these Card Troopers in there. Can get different Jinzos to the grave and special summons and stuff like that. 2 copies of Summoner Monk. Get your Jinzo Ejector to the field and basically kickstart some of your plays with the special summoning abilities that the card has. Now, next, we have a Makoto Inotsume original, 1 Dorirage. This card was a card that he ran. I think it's a card also Merrick ran. This is just sort of in here for flavor, but it basically is a super interesting like direct attacker. So like if your opponent's got a bunch stuff out that's like really powerful. You can direct attack with this guy. And the final 2 cards in this deck are Armageddon Knight and Dark Refer to basically like banish stuff and send some of your Jinzo cards to your graves to get your combo started. So that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells. This deck is literally all dark monsters except for the card troopers, so you got to have 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Kickstarts a lot of your different plays in this deck. Next, we've got 3 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon, a card that Makoto Inotsume also ran. Really, really good. Helps you pop stuff. In more competitive builds, you can switch that out for your for like Cosmic Cyclones or Twin Twisters and things like that, and it actually helps out. Next cards we have here are Limiter Removals. Since this card's at 3, you might as well run it, and it actually stacks its damage on your different Jinzos. And when you special summon a Jinzo off of Returner, it's going to die in the end phase anyway, so you might as well get the most use out of it. So the most limiters I've ever done is 2 to get a Jinzo up to 9600 attack power, which that's also really, really good. So really, really helpful play there. Now, coming into the more interesting part of the deck, of course, we have 3 copies of Inferno Reckless Summon. Now, let me demonstrate to you guys the combo here with Inferno Reckless Summon, because it involves actually, you can use your Card Trooper, you can use your Summoner Monk, you can use your Jinzo Ejector. Now, the thing about Jinzo Ejector that actually makes him super, super interesting is that when you special summon him off of Card Trooper, or when you special summon him either off of the Summoner Monk or some of the other cards that we do have in the deck, you can use your Inferno Reckless Summon basically to special summon all of your Jinzos from anywhere. So that's all 3 of the monster named Jinzo, because technically this guy counts as Jinzo on the field. So usually it would only be able to special summon 2 monsters of the same name. However, if you have a Jinzo Ejector in your graveyard, or you have multiple Jinzos in your deck, hands, or field, or whatever, one Inferno Reckless Summon can trigger and potentially fill up your entire board, which is super, super cool, especially if you're going to tribute one of them for Lord and then use limiter removal to go in for an OTK play. So really, really helps out and is a super, super interesting and fun strategy to use when going for broke. Now, of course, since we've got Jinzos in here, gotta have that good old amplifier. Jinzo is known for this card, and this again is not a card that you would run in a normal Jinzo deck, but I figured since I had the first edition super rares, I might as well run them. And really what this card is good for is allowing you to activate your trap cards when a Jinzo monster is out. So Amplifier is definitely very good. One Hand Destruction moves along your plays. A Foolish Burial triggers your Returner, gets your Ejector to graveyard, or even one of your Jinzos. And finally, Soul Exchange, which can directly be taken out for Monarch Stormforth, which is a better card, but arguably in here at 1, because the only monster that you can tribute summon by its own effect is Jinzo himself, so not really as consistent and searchable as you might want it to be. Now, moving on to the final cards in the deck are the trap cards. You might not think that there are many trap cards, but there are. 3 copies of Call of the Haunted. Now, Call of the Haunted I actually like quite a lot, because when you special summon a Jinzo monster to the field, it comes to the field in attack mode and immediately shuts off the Call of the Haunted, which means it's no longer affected by Call of the Haunted's drawbacks. This is extremely helpful because you want to have that trap that's negated on the field, and you can additionally use Call of the Haunted as an extra pop with Jinzo Lord to get a little bit of extra damage in on your opponent. But really, really just one of those cool combo plays that you think about doing on the regular basis. Next card that we have in the deck is a Joey Wheeler original, but it's the oldest, one of the oldest secret rares around, Psychic Shockwave, a card that a lot of people forgot about. This card is that when your opponent activates a trap card, you can trigger this to send a spell or trap from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a level 6 dark machine type monster from your deck. And there's not many level 6 dark machine type monsters, but as the picture shows you guys here, that's directly meant to summon Jinzo. There's a lot better ways to like search and summon Jinzo, but this is very much sort of a flavor card, and one of the worst secret rares to come out of Extreme Victory. So super interesting card, and something that I definitely kind of recommend you guys to consider. And finally, a Makoto Inotsume original 1 Crush card Virus. Even with its errata, it's still a pretty powerful card, and can wreck your opponent's field in different plans and stuff that they have coming forward. But you know, you combine this together with Jinzo's Trap Negation and you know, or Amplifier or whatever like that, and you can definitely make some really big plays. So guys, that's going to close it off for the Jinzo deck profile. I really hope you enjoyed it. Really excited for that brand new stuff that's going to come out. It's going to change this deck in interesting and crazy ways. So I hope you guys will be looking forward to that. But until then, this has been the Mermail Master with the Teen Time Riders YouTube channel, and I'm signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.